All right, so a lot of times students do not like a lot of chemistry in this class, but there is not a lot of chemistry to be fair. But you need to understand that if you want to learn about environmental engineering, and so I'll tell you a little bit about some of the stories. So these are the videos that's online accessible. This is about Flint, Michigan. If you have not heard about this story, there it's all about drinking water poisoning with lead. Because the city of Flint, they decided to switch their water from a lake which is pristine to a river which is very corrosive. All the pipes start dissolving, so the pipes that deliver their drinking water, the corrosion products start dissolving into water. And that corrosion products has lots of lead. So that's why it ended up having very high concentration of lead in their drinking water. So engineers have a role to play, how to understand how much leads or heavy metals in your drinking water, and how much heavy metals can leach out or dissolve from your pipes. All those, to understand those, you need to understand the chemistry of lead. Means you need to understand how to measure lead concentrations, how to quantify them. For instance, you understand money. If you say, I want to buy, let's say, Apple, you understand what's the value of $1, because that currency is what makes comparable from different types of product. Same thing in chemical system. There are currencies, and that currency is about their weight, their reactivity. These are their currency. That's how that gives them characters. So you should be able to understand how to quantify that characteristic. So you learn that. Same thing, in C153, when we used to have in class, I used to ask students to collect any soil from anywhere in LA, wherever they go, and they give us this soil, and we can measure the concentration of heavy metals. And this is the one of the studies where student took the concentrations, and then we're able to find out how much heavy metals or leads are there in different park. So as you see, it was very engaging before when we used to have online. And then we talk about where the lead come from. Leads are everywhere in the system because of the gasoline we used. And again, we talk about lead because if your soil has a lot of lead, it has a risk for poisoning through food system, because if you have urban gardening, it can also become toxic. So these are the things, every class I will share with you about different problems that are relevant for that particular class. So know not just the theory, also know how you can apply that to solve actual real world problem. So every class are structured in three different ways. Number one, there is a problems that associate with the theory. That's very briefly 2 or 3 minutes you know about that, and then you learn about the theory or the concept, which will be 10 or 15 minutes or 20 minutes longer based on the topic. And then we'll have lots of quiz questions, which I'll discuss, or example questions in the live lectures. And then in the recorded materials, we'll have actual homework questions from previous year. So I'll post those and solve that, so that when you receive a homework questions, you know at least some examples how to do those. So there will be a traditional structure for every class. Okay. And the second half discussion session, mostly it will not be the second materials, recorded material, more about if you have any questions about that covered in the last class or on the posted video. Having said that, we are almost the time for the end of this class. Very happy